All right. Sometimes I take 2 minutes and sometimes I take 22 minutes, so I'm just going to dive right in. Principle number 1, the major premise. Now, I'm going to just share a couple of principles, but I'm not going to share them in the context of chiropractic philosophy. I'm going to share them in the principles of life and how chiropractic coincides with our life. So a universal intelligence is in all matter and continually gives to all its properties actions, and thus maintaining it in existence. So that is our major premise, right? Does the major premise say, well, sometimes life is good, and sometimes things go the way you plan, and then sometimes F it all. Screw it, you know. Sometimes. Is that what it says? And now, let me also say, because I'd like to try to clarify this right from the get-go, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to me. So join me in my conversation. If you don't like it, don't let the door hit you in the ass, or the whore, by the way. So this is for me. So if universal intelligence is in all matter and continually, not frequently, not occasionally, not intermittently, gives to it all its properties and actions, then it's a law. And just like we tell our patients, if you stand at the edge of a cliff and you jump and you tell the law of gravity, I don't believe, go ahead and jump, because gravity doesn't give a damn. It's a law. So the law says that universal intelligence, which in my book is God, gives and gives and gives and gives and gives continuously. For some freaking reason in my mind, I think it's intermittently. It's only when I'm a good girl and I eat all my vegetables and I don't have an extra piece of chocolate. It isn't. It's a law. It always gives. So when Kevin sent me a text message of a picture of a November 5th weekend in New York, you can learn spinal manipulation therapy if you're a PT or an AT. I don't know what an AT is, maybe an asshole therapist. That's it. Forgive me, because really it's not about them. So the first thing you think about when you look at that is, them bastards. This is mine. But then I realized they're not bad. These are good people. These are good people who heard that a spinal manipulation might make a difference in someone's life. Who am I to judge that they're coming in to my territory and wanting to steal my turf? They're not. Because first of all, what's spinal manipulation? Rack and crack, hear a couple pops. Maybe a patient might get up and say that felt great. Maybe they might intermittently have an accidental miracle. But if universal intelligence gives continuously, why is it my worry? Why am I to judge or be afraid of what they choose to do? Don't we tell our children that when somebody tries to copy them, that it's the greatest form of flattery? Well, it's a beautiful thing. So everything is okay. My daughter, Kinna, 20 years old, from the moment of her second birthday, dropped me to my knees. That child challenged every freaking morning of my life. Like Patty, like, God, do I have to wake her up for school? Please let somebody else do this. Oh my God. She's a baby and she slept with us for 5 years, and every morning when we'd wake up, I'd say, hi, baby, did you have a nice CP? No. Oh, God, help me. My lands. So here I am. Oh my God, what do I do? She's finishing Montessori school after 6th grade. I don't know what to do with her. What school do we send her to? I can't put her on a bus. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? We're gonna homeschool her. I can't homeschool her. I'm gonna end up in jail. Oh, there's something called cyber school. We're gonna cyber school her. Oh my God, but she'll be home. How am I gonna live with her at home? We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Everything's gonna be okay. 2 years of cyber school, and she says, Mom, I want a high school experience. And I'm like, what? Any school you want, honey. I don't care. You can go to school. You don't have to be at home. No, Mommy loves you to be at home. No, you don't have to be at home. So we send her off to high school. It's the greatest experience till, people get a clue who Kenna is. Whew! All of a sudden, school's terrible. Everybody's a bully, yada, 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 right? So I'm deciding, oh my God, we got to give this kid a vision. I got to get her out of my life. Oh my God. So the year before her senior year, I don't know where this is coming from. This was not part of the plan, so please forgive me. So before she goes into 12th grade, we take her down to life. I figure if she's going to either be a chiropractor, she's not going to be a chiropractor. She's screaming and fighting and kicking, telling me I'm ruining her life, that I'm breaking her heart, because I'm making her go there and I'm going here. Long story short, I meet up with her at the leadership event. I'm crying my eyes out because she's just shredding me to pieces. We're walking down, she goes, I want to see Grandpa's handprints. The founder's path where my dad's footprints and handprints are in the path. Like, all right, I'm going to put your head in that, but okay. So we're walking, and I'm keeping my mouth shut. My glasses are on. I'm crying up a storm. She goes, I think this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a bachelor's in something, maybe psychology, and then I'm going to be a chiropractor. So thank God my hands were behind my back and not in her face, and my glasses were on. I'm like, okay, all right. So she had something. But then she goes away to school for 2 years to Cal U, and I'm sensing something's not right the last semester. And sure enough, she dabbled in a little bit of partying. And so right when we're going to tell her this summer that you're not going back, she calls a week before school and says, Mom, Dad, I don't want to go back. That's not what I want my future to be. Wow. Universal intelligence gives continually. But then she says, I don't want to be a chiropractor. I'm like, oh my God, here we go. Really long story short, she falls in love. She thought if she would be a chiropractor, she'd lose the guy. She's 20. I don't care. Take her. So, I'm kidding, right? Nobody is going to this isn't leaving this room, right? So she decides that she wants to go to chiropractic school in maybe January of 2018. She wants to go there married. And who am I to say? So all that, and look at. So this morning I'm working out, and God just gave me the most freaking beautiful gift. I'm listening to, I don't know, somehow Earth, Wind, and Fire station got on my Pandora. And all of a sudden, Stevie Wonder's song comes on. Isn't she lovely? Isn't that a lot like life, raising your children? She is lovely. She's kept me on my knees. What's so wrong with that? She's humbled me. What's so wrong with that? Those physical therapists who want to do spinal manipulation, what's wrong with that? They won't ever have what we have. How can we be offended? They don't have our vision. We can't be upset because they don't have our vision. We can't expect them to know our vision because it's our vision, it's not their vision. So therefore, it's not their vision, they're not going to take it away from us. Because universal intelligence gives continuously. It's a law. It's a law. You can't think and fear and worry out of the law. It doesn't care about you. It gives and it gives and it gives and it gives and it gives. Because life is really, 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 really good. And if we could wake up one day and take off those blinders of deception that we've bought into some crazy idea that we need to show up at work at 9 and leave at a certain time and retire at a certain age and have this number of children and see this number of patients and collect this amount of money and drive this particular car. Who are you? It's just so crazy, the torment and torture that we put ourselves through. While all the while, we look at the strings and say, well, that's a pretty pink color. But up above is this tapestry that's so divine. We took our niece and our daughters to Brooklyn a couple weeks ago. And they wanted to get up in the morning at 6 a.m. to see the sunrise. And I'm like, oh, Sunday, I was like, okay, let's do it. So we go, and I'm like, freak, you guys got me tying up your bikes while the sun's rising. And I'm, doing my usual, son of a bitch, oh, sure, I'm mom, let me stay behind, I'll take care of everything. No, you guys post your 1,000 pictures on Instagram while I miss it all. So I finally get up to a certain level, and I'm like, where's the freaking sun? Where's the sun? Shit, it's behind the buildings. Like, I get up for this, and then all of a sudden I turn and I look, and I'm like, but there's the moon. Who gets up at 6 a.m. to see the moon set behind the Tower 1, the World Trade Center? Like, oh, there I go, wanting to see these little strings of pink and purple and blue, and they're straggling, while all the while there's this tapestry that's so divine, so amazing. We've been talking about surrendering, talking about giving in, talking about not seeing what's here at the moment. I didn't want to do this, but again, I didn't want to do this whole talk, so have at it. Medicare audited us, and I'm not going there, but Medicare audited us. Talk about fear, like 10 pounds in 10 days. I like losing weight, but I don't ever want that kind of stress. So this weight gain you see on me means I don't have much stress going on, so enjoy it. Because that was a horrible, I would say it was worse than my brother and my father's death, the fear that we allowed to creep in. Hire in an auditor. She's sitting with me. I'm going back and forth, and I shared this with Mike and Pat McLean. I'm going back and forth to Medicare. And then all of a sudden she laughs. And I said, what's so funny? I can't imagine the look on your face when nothing happens. And I'm like, is that an option? 74 patient files. They weren't looking for some overpayment. They were looking for fraud. So something was going to happen, and it might have ended up in handcuffs. Thank God we bill under Kevin's name. So longest of long stories, fear and fear and fear. But when she said that to me, I'm like, that's a possibility. So as I write the notes, I'm just praying that God weave his spirit through those notes so that that auditor sees beyond the physical, that he's touched of chiropractic with each note that I write for 5 weeks. Thank you, God, that you are weaving your thread, that you're going before us, that this is going to be a supernatural outcome, and that you are giving continuously without my fear getting in your way, because your agenda is greater than my agenda. Had to go through the lawyer to get to the auditor, and the lawyer, so then the auditor would, like if it was their energy going to the auditor, I didn't want that. I had to pray that lawyer's energy out so that the spirit would come in. Found out at the end of August. Now get this. This doesn't happen, and I'm not sharing this because I'm something, because I am jack shit. And I don't let anybody come up to me afterwards and say, don't talk about yourself like that. I'm jack shit, and so are you. So at the end of August, we get a letter, and I'm like, oh my God, this is it. All right, God. I prayed, and I'm just thanking you, because whatever comes of this, you already told me I have the power and strength to walk through it. They took 88 notes, 88 dates of service of their sampling of the 300 plus we sent. They found us to have a 70% error rate. They applied the 70% to the 88 visits, not back 2 or 3 years. We owed $1,100. Now, if you don't believe in miracles, that, my friends, is a modern day miracle, without a doubt. So, screw these notes. Let me share with you my favorite principle. Principle number 11. The forces of universal intelligence are manifested by physical laws. A law. are unswerving and unadapted and have no solicitude for the structures in which they work. I've already said it. They don't give a damn. Life is good. God is great. He gave us a purpose. Why do we have to worry? Why do I have to worry about it? Remember, this is for me. Romans 8:28 says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." Sometimes when I have a pissy day, maybe it's because I'm fighting my purpose. It's not because all things are bad. Maybe I didn't get on the purpose train that morning. It's me. It's not because the law failed me. I failed to see. I failed to take the blinders of deception off. It's our choice, nobody else's. You have been given this. There is something in here I do want to say. You have been given the opportunity to have the blinders removed, to know the truth. Chiropractic isn't the truth because its title is chiropractic. Chiropractic is the truth because we serve principles that coincide with laws of life. Nothing to be afraid of, nothing to be stolen from us. I don't care if they take away the title chiropractic because I don't serve chiropractic. I serve laws of life. And if they want to take it from me, I'm still going to say bullshit, and I'm still going to kick and scream, but I'm still going to have my purpose. It's going to be okay because all things work out for the good of those who know, believe, and get on that purpose train. We just got to stop being little sissies. If you know what your intention is, I have 2 extra minutes, please. Dick Santos said years ago that the act of rape and the act of making love are very similar. For the most part, they're the same. But what's the intention? It's a big difference in intention, isn't it? So we can have all the knowledge that we want. Knowledge will get us to Timbuktu. I don't know what's in Timbuktu. Knowledge will get us to the World Trade Center. But my intention to get to the top is up to me. You can have all the information in the world, but if your heart ain't right, you got to get your heart right. And the only way I know to get my heart right is to say thank you, 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 thank you. Because sometimes I don't know what else to say, but thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And sometimes that's all you got to do is just say thank you. It's a lost art for a lot of people, a very lost art. My dad always talked about the road, the red road. I never knew what it was, so I looked it up after he died. The red road is walking in the determined act of living within the Creator's instructions, or the law. Basically, it's living a life of truth, humbleness, respect, truth, humbleness. I know I don't sound, but respect. I can't worry about what the physical therapists are. I have to respect that they've got a good heart. They're not all bad. Friendship and spirituality. Those on this road are by no means walking a perfect path. It's not an easy road. It's full of disappointments and obstacles and temptations. But we must continue on, for we know it is the right path to follow. Thank you, and I'll see you on the red road.